Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
Hey guys, tonight what we're going to do is we're going to go over another routine for attracting the buyers, getting the buyers to work with you as opposed to other agents, okay? Because the biggest thing that I've seen on all the group chats, Facebook groups, workplace groups is, I'm struggling getting the buyers to sign with me. What can I do? We all have the same exact tools. Well, that's true for most agents, but not for you guys. Um, you definitely have tools that separate you from the crowd, and of course, really flow being one of them. I mean, that's a huge advantage. And then the team platform with all the tools we have there, that entire platform, and one of them is what we're going to go over tonight, which is the booklet. So we're going to go in great detail how you use the booklet. There's so many ways. It's such a versatile marketing tool. Um, you can make it look like a newsletter. I don't really recommend that, quite frankly. But most importantly, you can convey information like market statistics and data. I mean, you can use that booklet to attract, uh, conventional homeowners, traditional homeowners who either want to buy or sell, and you can use it to attract investors too. You can use it for, um, people who want to look for off-market properties. So we're gonna kind of cover that tonight. We should be able to be done in an hour. And as usual, I'll stay on a little bit later for those who need to who have questions. Um, So let me, for those of you, when you get a message, Eric is promoting you to panelist. For the new folks, please don't decline it. Go ahead and become a panelist because it gives you more capability. It doesn't mean we're going to call on you. You're not going to be a panelist like in a conference or anything like that. It's just whatever Zoom calls us. So if you can do that, we really appreciate it. And because what will happen is you're going to realize you're not able to do certain things, and you're going to say, "Hey, I can't do this? I can't do that." You just got to let yourself people go to the panelists. So, in any case,
Can I bring
uh,
up something, Gary?
no,
Okay.
yes, of course you can. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Karen.
Well, I'm bringing up something because I find it interesting. And, you and I have discussed this, but I mean, I've also brought it up on a call because I've, had a couple of very high-end buyers come my way. And, I truly, my radar goes up and I always think, scam, right? So I still think scam sometimes. Like I have a copy of their driver's licenses, right? Both of them. One of them, I said to him, he's like, do you need documentation? I said, what do you want from me? What do you need from me? It depends what we're doing. And, he said, well, I might want to, take a look because they're not local. And I said, I might want to take a look at a property or get a few more pictures, or maybe a video, something like that. I said, well, let me tell you, I said, I wouldn't do anything for you. And I said, if you were my client and you were selling your property, I wouldn't let somebody into your home without having a proof of funds. He said, okay, this is over the weekend. And he said to me, fine, I'll send you my driver's license today and I'll get you a proof of funds tomorrow. Okay.
Good job.
So I have all that. Now, thing is, do you know if it's fake? Do you know if it's real? You don't really know 100% because you don't know these people. Now, I'm proceeding as though, right? It looks good. There's no red flag for me at this point. But, I called the listing agent of one of the properties, which happens to be a $3.5 million property. And she just told me that on that house alone, she's already had 2 scams.
2 what?
2 scams.
Oh, holy smokes.
On that house alone.
Yeah.
Now, in this area, right? So right around the corner from me, as a matter of fact. Yeah. I'm bringing this up because, she brought it up to me that she's already had 2 scams on this house.
Yeah.
And that's her house. And she said that she's not the only one.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm bringing it up because this is obviously a big deal right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I don't know 100% with what I'm dealing with. Are we just dealing with really good scammers, or, is it legit? I don't know, but I'm bringing it up because I think everybody should be wary of
Mm-hmm.
who they're dealing with and get as much information and as much documentation as they can. I guess that's
Yep.
why I'm bringing it up.
Well, there's an old accounting term, which is trust but verify.
Yeah.
Trust but verify,
Yeah.
and you really don't have a choice but to go forward because they haven't done anything yet that to tell you
Right.
to do otherwise. But Janai, you want to make a comment on that? You're muted, Janai. Mhm.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so we've had that issue before too, especially on, not that WhatsApp is a bad thing, but number one, I always require an email that's legitimate.
Yeah.
I don't correspond. We don't do text messaging in the state of Wisconsin anyway, so we have to have an email. I always ask for proof of funds. With
Yep.
those proof of funds, I will then call the bank and verify that, this person who's representing the bank actually works for the bank, because they're signed by managers, loan officers. You can also run them through Forewarn or other venues to make sure. I ask for a photo ID, but more importantly, I ask for a picture with them in it, with the photo holding the photo, so that there is a timestamp of when that conversation started. I think scammers are always going to be out there, but on the flip side, as sellers, you always do search and holds with title companies. And if it's a title company that has had the pre-existing, file with that particular property, they'll have proof of and verification that they can cross-reference as well.
Yeah.
I want to bring up, to add to that, like, I actually have a copy of a statement, not a proof of funds, like the first page of the statement, myself. Now, I agree with you with WhatsApp. I actually have regular text message and WhatsApp, in addition to email address that's worked. So, I agree with you. You have to have more than one thing, because WhatsApp, I think, is one of the biggest scam, things out there. But, the more information you can get, the better. So, but I still, you still can't trust it 100%.
No, I don't think you can ever trust it, but I was a loan processor, and in order for us to do proof of funds, obviously they had to submit all pages of all the accounts that we asked for. But I do think the more information that you ask them to verify and they respond immediately,
right,
I have no problem with that. And again, that's where, when it comes to an offer to purchase or a contract, there are multiple people that are checking that. And obviously things do get through, but I do think the more protocols and the more, verify,
yeah,
and again, there's always those red flags, especially if they're from out. I've had people say, I want to sell my property, and they're not from the area. And then when I look at their registry, it doesn't match up. So I do think you have to have your guards, and you have to trust your instinct.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm not a very trusting soul. So, but all I know is cover your butt, so that's about as far as I could go myself. But, he's given me everything I have asked for. So it's, I mean, both of them have actually. So it's been, So, but I appreciate the other input too.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't ever go wrong with asking, you can't ask for too much information, and legitimate people are going to understand it. They're going to be okay with it, because it's not like it hasn't been in the news. And if you guys remember, I know we got a lot of curriculum to cover tonight, but I just want to bring up one more thing relative to this. And thank you, Karen, for bringing it up, and thanks, Janai, for adding to the conversation too. But do you guys remember in the pandemic years, the big problem was title scams?
Yeah.
People were completely faking an entire transaction, going to title companies who were in the habit of doing everything online now,
Yeah.
and things were, titles were being recorded, these were being recorded, and it was a major problem. From what I understand, they got that under control, but you can't. We're never going to completely live in a society without fraud. It's just a fact of life, and sometimes the bad guy wins, sometimes the good guy wins, but most importantly, we always have ways to get ahead and stay ahead of the bad guys. And the key is, though, like Karen and Janai are saying, is just gather information. If you're uncertain, trust your instincts. Do not be afraid. It's better to make somebody angry, a legitimate person angry for a moment, than to not trust your instincts, take a chance, and then have a bigger problem later on. And the title companies, believe me, I used to own one. They're pretty good at checking things out, So, yep. But in any case, so guys, let's go ahead and move on here. Thanks again for sharing that here. And I know it's scary, but I keep going forward. Trust but verify. So look at Kathy's got a. Well, that's a big cat. Holy smokes! Is that a bear? Bear cub. So, in any case, tonight, what I want to do is go into detail of how you can use the booklet to attract the buyers and have them want to sign with you. Okay, it does utilize ReallyFlow. It uses KV Core. So we're actually going to touch on pretty much all the systems that we have. If you're on the call tonight and you're not on the team, there's certain things you're not going to have. If you're not an EXP, there's certain things you're not going to have. But you should have a CRM wherever you are, whatever brokerage you're in. You should have a CRM that you should be able to do the things I'm going to show you tonight. Okay, so you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Let me. Ooh, did I not hit the Facebook thing? Thought I did. Okay, good. So let's go. Actually, I need to bring up the KV Core. Hang on one second, guys. I thought I had everything up. So just take a second. Do. Okay. So the first thing I want to do, guys, is this. When we create booklets in the past, the booklets that had the greatest success rate were those that showcased flips in an area. Okay. So the beautiful thing, one of the beautiful things about this lead source system is we can actually see when a property's been flipped. Okay. And then it's easy we know what the properties are. Then we go to the MLS, locate the last two sales. The most recent sale will be in the investor actually flipped it for profit and a new homeowner lives there at a brand spanking new home. The prior sales when the investor first bought it at probably a lower price. Okay. And then usually there's about 6 months in between on average, sometimes 3, sometimes 9. So in any case, what I want to do is let's just start, since I was working with a student today where I used to live in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. Okay. And I've already checked the flip box. So what we're looking for are properties that have been flipped. And look, 4,825 properties have been flipped in one county. So if you're ever thinking, should I be part of the flipping game? The answer is a resounding yes. If you're an agent, why would we work with a flipper? Because we're likely going to get paid twice, very highly likely. We're going to get one commission when they first buy it. That commission will be sometimes lower because the house is lower priced. But we know the flipper is going to sell it, because if they don't sell it, they got a big problem on their hands. They've got a house sitting there that's empty. They put a lot of money into. They're going to sell it. So you can pretty much rest assured you're going to get a second commission on it, and typically higher than the first one. And by the way, if you really practice the art of marketing, the art and science of marketing, you stand a really good chance of getting the end user buyer, the person who's going to live in the house. You can double end the second sale. And if you're really lucky, that person's got a house to sell too. So in any case, I could go on and on, but the point is, you have a much higher certainty of getting two commissions out of this per property than almost any other scenario on the planet. So in any case, we don't want to market to 4,825 people. I'm sorry, actually, we wouldn't market to these people, but we don't want that many examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to filters, okay? And I'm going to narrow down, oops, the price range. So I'm going to say, I know the sweet spot in some of the best neighborhoods are 400,000 to 500,000. Let me get that character out of there. Sorry, guys. My typing skills are a little rough tonight. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, let's see what okay, it's searching now to narrow things down. And I also know, so that's down and now to 351. I can also, let's see. Well, let's just go there. Let's just look at the results. Okay. Well, let's just pick one. McDonald, PA, McDonald, PA. I don't want anything that far away. Actually, I could draw. Here, let's go up into here. And I'm going to draw a polygon. Right. I'm going to draw a polygon right here. There we go. Let's go up here. Let's go over here. Let's go down here and back to the beginning. Right now, so just narrowed that down dramatically based on drawing a polygon. So now we're down to 43. This is perfect. So these houses are actually in the city of Pittsburgh. So I'm going to look at this one on, let's do Oxbridge, 8087 Oxbridge. So Karen, can you do me a huge favor, Karen? Can you search for 8087 Oxbridge on the West Penn multi-list? And just look and see if it had 2 sales in the last year or whatever this thing last sold.
Yeah.
Actually,
I could do that.
okay. And we can click on it here, by the way. And we can see the retail value is 460. And if we go down, we can see the prior recordings, right? So this guy bought it. I don't know whether you see that's flipped, but nonetheless, they say it's flipped. Actually, you know what we could do? We could, well, let's let Karen do what she's going to do in Walters. I was going to say, if we go back to the filters and we scroll down, now it may not currently be on the MLS. It doesn't look like it is right now, but we could have looked, if it was, we could have seen the prior sales, you know, foreclosure activity, previous sale information. But while Karen's doing that, we're going to keep these records up there. And I'm going to go into the team website. Okay, here we go. And we're going to click on the booklet campaign. Okay. So you log into the, what's that?
I found it sold.
Okay.
At 8 of 23.
Yep. Now look at the description, look at the remarks and see if it says new kitchen, new bathroom, all the indicators that it was remodeled, you know, because that's what we want for our booklet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up a booklet in the booklet campaign and I'll show you why this is so important.
Interestingly enough, it shows a 9/1/23 sold date.
Okay.
But basically it's showing that it's just been painted, lightly updated, and fixture change.
Okay.
Clean slate, waiting for you to make it home. Level driveway leads to oversized 2-car attached garage with 0 entry into the home. Let's see if there's anything else. I mean, anything that makes sense.
Yeah.
As far as
that's okay.
Kitchen with granite, kitchen with granite and updated cooktop.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's okay, Karen. The other thing too is I just realized a lot of investment properties, including flips, are not bought off the MLS.
No,
So a
they're
lot of
not.
times, yeah, the first sale, you actually don't have any MLS. I want to apologize because I didn't think about that a moment ago.
Right.
But we can look in the county records and see that too. But
But it
the
can be
main thing
sold.
is, yeah. Now, does it have good pictures in there? Like pictures of
Yeah.
the updated? Perfect. So
Uh,
here's how
Jerry,
we,
yeah.
wouldn't you be able to find that in RPR under the
Yeah.
unlisted properties? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You want to
actually,
look
you
that up
could.
while I look at the pictures?
Yeah, what was the address? 8087
It's
Oxbridge?
8087 Oxbridge Drive, and that's in McCandless,
Yep.
MC
15237.
15237. Yeah.
Okay. So while we're looking that up, I'm going to show you an example of a booklet that one of our past agents made to attract dentists.
The
She
pictures are
specifically made
lovely.
this. What's that?
The pictures are lovely.
Excellent. That's what we need.
Mhm.
So this booklet was made to attract dentists. Okay. And it worked. The first batch of booklets that went out, she got a dentist and she sold them $1 million property.
Yeah.
But in any case, so
The
the
cabinets are
booklet,
old, but it's a nice looking property. I mean, I only they're old because they have the hinges on the outside.
okay. But guys, back to this. When you go into the booklet campaign, you not only get a template for the booklet, you get other examples, 4 other examples of the booklet. And this is one of those examples that we give you. So there's an introductory letter. Okay. You always want to hand sign it, put in your contact information right up front there. She gives her actual cell phone number, which is brilliant. And up here, she's got her email. Always make it easy for your folks to get a hold of you. Then there's a table of contents. Why I read this. Okay. Basic concepts on flipping, and then some success stories. So this is a before picture of the outside. There's an after picture of the outside. See that new roof? They redid the driveway, redid some of the siding. Then she gives the price that the investor bought it at, and then the advice the investor sold at, and the net proceeds. Now we don't know the exact number of the remodeling, but I can pretty sure you it wasn't $644,000. You get the rehab highlights, and you get that right from the remarks section of the MLS listing. Okay. Remember, even though the investor may have bought the property off market, you still get paid for that. But every investor is always going to put the house on the market to resell it because they want multiple offers. They want as many people looking at it as humanly possible. Okay. She puts all the highlights in there, and then she gives a bunch of interior pictures of the remodeled product, right? I mean, look at this. I mean, why we use this is because we know a lot of people are enamored by the flipping shows on Netflix. When I watch them when I'm in the business, go look at that fireplace living room area. It's just, here's another example, another property, right? So, in any case, you can put in up to 3 examples of a flip in this thing. You want at least one. Okay. You don't want to put more than 3 because it's redundant. You don't need more than 3 examples of flips in the area. Okay. But in any case, I want to go back to the end of the booklet. Okay. And she put an article in there, fix and flip, what it is and how you can make the most of one, right? By Noah Brocious, the Forbes magazine article. So it's a brilliant move putting in this article in there. Then she gives other suggested reading. Okay. 7 reasons to work with Shannon. Okay. Does this look like the kind of thing that you could use right now when you're interviewing with a potential buyer? 7 reasons to work with Janai, 7 reasons to work with Angela, 7 reasons to work with Eric. This is what you have to do to set yourself apart. Okay. Um, so real quick, before I move into how do you actually create this and how do you actually send it out? Any questions on the booklet or how we identified the properties we're going to show as examples? If you do, just type them in the chat box. You can raise your hand. you can unmute yourself.
It's
Okay.
nice too, is even if you've done some of your own. I know we've done a bunch of our own, so you could even include your own if you've
Yep.
had that experience.
Yep. Well, every person I've ever met that's ever remodeled, whether they were flipping or not, I've always told them, make sure you take pictures every single day. I don't care if you just put up one sheet of drywall. Take pictures every single day of the remodeling. Take video, strategically throughout the remodeling project. Because if you're an agent or you're a flipper or both, in a lot of cases, you're an agent and an investor, right? You can use that to show people. I mean, people love that kind of stuff. All right. And if they know that you've personally been involved with one, who do you think they're going to want to use? Not to mention the fact you're using this booklet, you knew exactly which properties were already flipped. Boy, that would freak out some consumers. How do you know which properties are flipped? Well, we have a tool we use on our team. Um, so in any case, excellent example of booklet. So in the campaign, um, there are. 1 second. Let me go back.
Gary, this is a great place to toot your own horn too.
Toot my own horn.
No,
What?
not you, but people in general.
Oh,
Like
I was going to
if
say
they
I
have
haven't.
done some of this stuff to
Yeah.
include it, like in the
Yep.
booklet. Yeah.
I agree. Yep. So in any case, sorry, there is some kind of bug in here somewhere. I don't know if it's on my computer or the system or what have you, but in any case, so there's the template, right? Then you have these 4 examples: East Coast, West Coast, engineer, dentist, different demographics. Okay. Now, the way this works is, well, there's a checklist you can follow, but really the key is this: create a booklet. I suggest you use Word, Microsoft Word. If you have an Apple computer, there's a variation of that you can use. You can use Canva. I've seen people use Canva to create booklets, but the key is you don't really want to send this out in the mail anymore. You can, but it's going to be quite expensive. I mean, just imagine sending out a 16-page booklet in the U.S. mail today. How much that's going to cost? I mean, a stamp is what, 73 cents now?
That's crazy.
You know, so to send a booklet out is probably going to be $3 or $4. So what you want to do is save the file on Google Drive or iCloud, somewhere where you can get a link to the saved documents. Everybody, please write that down. If you want to do this the right way and save a lot of money, save your document on either Google Drive or iCloud, where you can get a link that you can send to people via Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it, email, text. So,
QR.
Janai, I'm sorry, I saw you got a question or
Yeah,
comment?
I'm just gonna say, if you use Canva, Canva does not import PDFs very friendly. It's not user friendly with
Mm,
Canva. So just keep that in mind. If you want to create a document, it's best either to create an image or use, like you said, a Word doc or PowerPoint or something other than a PDF. So
okay.
for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to work on the back end. And then I agree with you in terms of using this, but you could also create a QR code and put that, if you wanted to send something in the mail, you could send something in the mail as a follow-up with, again, a
Yeah.
QR code that would give them direct access to that link or in that
Okay.
material.
Excellent. Yeah. I've not used Canva personally. I mean, we use it on the team, the operations people do, but they do all the work there. Is it possible to create a Canva document and copy it into or insert it in a Word document?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's what I'm saying is you could
Yeah.
easily email it or whatever, but if as a follow-up, you could put it in on a hard copy templated letter with a QR code or an email, I would do the QR
Gotcha.
code and that would elevate and really follow up with them to make sure that there's, it wasn't missed.
Okay. Excellent. Um, so in any case, so let's assume you've got the document saved, you've got a link to the document. The reason we do that is you can send it as an attachment, but too many times um, you'll see your email getting flagged because it's got a big attachment. The servers will block it. So it's just easier to put in an embedded link. Um, now, let's do this. I want to go to KV Core. So let me get down there. Okay. Now, is everybody with me so far? If you could do me a favor, type in the chat box, okay, the letters okay. I just want to know that so far everything's making sense. If it's not, this is a classroom. This is where you want to ask questions and get clarity and so forth. I love questions. I don't mind at all. Okay, lots of okays. Catherine, I like having a photo with them in it. Oh, that's back to the discussion with Karen and Janai. Yeah, you know what, guys? Janai mentioned that too. If you really want to be double certain, the people you're working with, this is going back, I'm sorry, going back to Karen's comments and Janai's, have them take a selfie of them holding the driver's license either beside them or underneath their chin. That's called KYC, know your customer, and you're going to see more and more of that lately. We do a version of it now for people who want to lease our platform. We have to do identity verification because if we don't, guess what the merchant provider does? They charge us more money. So we actually save money by having people do something they should want to do anyways, which is verify their ID. So I mean, it's for their protection. Okay, so in any case, here I am in KV Core. Now, if you don't have KV Core, don't worry. You should have a CRM at whatever brokerage you're practice. Okay. Now I'm going to go into all contacts, and assuming you have your contacts tagged, hashtag, like there's different. I've got like people on the team. Hashtag for people on the team. Let me. They changed the format of this a little bit. Search contacts by name, email, or phone. Add contact. Did I do that right? All contacts. Yeah, I got it right. Okay. Um, and you should be able to see your tags down here. Let me move my panel out of the way. If you click on that, um, you can see I've got several tags. Gary's phone, downline, current students, all these numbers in here. I have no idea what they mean. KWOPs, I know all the owners for different hashtags, right? So I don't want to select. I mean, I've got over 10,000 records. I don't want to select all those. But let's say um, I select flippers because I want to appeal to flippers. That booklet, by the way, works with traditional owners too. Regular owner occupants, you can use the same booklet for owner occupants. You don't have to use it for just people looking to flip. That's the exact booklet you could use for regular consumers. You might take their article out on how to flip a home, right? But let's say I want to set up Eric with a campaign. I would click his name, right? And it looks like Eric, we just sent you an email 4 days ago. So in any case, I go into more actions. Okay. I can add hashtags, as many hashtags as I want. I can share the contact, which we don't do. I can add a campaign. Okay. So if I look in here under my campaigns that we've loaded up in the KV Core, I've got all these campaigns, flipping prospect campaign. So I'm going to turn that campaign on for Eric. Okay. Now, Eric's going to get this campaign, is going to get an email on a regular basis. And I forget the frequency of that particular campaign. But what I can do is I can go down here, go into marketing, go into smart campaigns. Okay. And let me find the flipping email campaign. Here we go. So I'm going to select that. Actually, let me just open it up here. Okay. And you can see they get an email immediately with a bunch of follow-up. So if I click on that email, let's go into edit. Okay. I could put my verbiage in here, but more importantly, what else can I put in here?
The booklet
Just,
link.
just shout out what you think it is. What if I'm going to connect Eric with a flipping campaign with 17 different emails he's going to get? What can I put in the first email? What did I just create?
The booklet.
A link
The
to the
booklet.
booklet.
So I put a link for the booklet in there, right? Now, what's interesting, I can go to every I think there's 17 steps of this campaign. I can go to every fourth step and insert a link for a new booklet. I can create a new booklet every single month, right? Every 4 weeks. So Eric will get the regular campaign plus every 4 weeks, which means he'll get 4 booklets. He'll get 4 examples of booklets with flips in there from the area. Okay. And that's literally how easy that is. Now, I'm not going to actually turn things on because I don't want to, have Eric get inundated with emails. But guys, that's literally what it takes when you create the link. When you get the link for the save booklet, you can put it in emails. You can put it in text messages, right? Remember, if you go back, let me go back to all contacts. Hi, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching a recording of the Monday Night Live class. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. I'm sure you will. I wanted to let you know that, you can come to Monday Night Live whenever you want, but you can also participate more with the team. Why don't you set up a call with me, a one-on-one strategy call? I can go over everything with you, show you everything that we have to offer. For example, did you know that on our team, not only do you get your leads, we actually give you your own account on our lead gen system. So this puts you in control. You're not waiting on somebody to hand you leads. You get to pick the ones you want. Okay. Huge difference. We have 21 of our own proprietary marketing campaigns. They're all copyright protected. We're the only ones that can use them. Okay. The coaching is absolutely one-on-one. We got 3 coaches. We even have a 4th success coach that we have access to. Okay. One of left fewer than 100 in the world. Okay. One-on-one coaching. Right now the big problem is volume. We need more transactions. We need more inventory. I get it. Well, we know how to get it. Our team actually outproduces the national average by more than 2 to 1. So if you're struggling, don't do that anymore. If you're a solo agent, if you're a team, let's just talk. Smart entrepreneurs are always open to discussion. Learn what we have to offer, and then you can make an informed decision about staying where you are or moving on. You've got to decide, if you're not where you want to be, you've got to take action to get where you want to be. Let's see how we can help you do that. I look forward to talking to you. Click on the link, set up a call. And by the way, I'll see you on the next Monday Night Live. I can do a group text. I can send a text out to 250 people at a time. I can do the same thing with email. In fact, if you want to send an email to, say, like your entire database, you have to select it really for recipient. You have to schedule the email that's going to go out. It has to be at least 24 hours in advance. So you set up the email to be scheduled to go out the next day, right? And then have that go out. You can set it up to go out every month, for example. Another way to do this. And you just have to remember, set yourself a trigger, reminder, right up here in quick actions. You can give yourself a reminder to create a new booklet at least the day before that next email goes out. And you get the new link, put it in the email. Email goes out already scheduled for the next day. And voila, you've got your email going out. Now, I'm going to challenge you guys. Let me do a stop share here. To actually do this. I mean, this campaign, the biggest challenge you're going to have is actually creating the booklet. And it's not a real technical challenge. I mean, for me, it could be, but it's just the doing it part is creating the booklet. Just get one out there. And the fact is, you're going to improve it over time. That booklet was not Shannon's first booklet. You should see my first booklet. In fact, you do get to see it in the campaign. The template is based on my very first booklet. I just think it's plain ugly, but it gives you the format. Okay. The key is to create the booklet, get that piece of work done. I consider it a work of art. Get that piece of art done. If you're going to send it to regular homeowners, take out the verbiage about, how do you flip a home and send it to them and say, we can find properties just like this in your area. Or how about if you have how about if you did a campaign for fixer-uppers, people that they want to buy a house, they want a really good deal, because they know the house prices have gone up the last couple of years. They know interest rates have gone up the last couple of years. So do you think there's a lot of home buyers out there that would say, you know what, I'm going to put in some elbow grease and I'm going to redo the painting and the doors and the trim and all that stuff themselves? How many people have come across buyers who that's what they want? They want to remodel a place. So what I mean, you can use this for regular homeowners, not just investors, right? And show them these examples in their area. Always be selective. So if you're working in wherever you are, it doesn't St. Louis, Missouri, you know, obviously do searches in St. Louis, Missouri, pick some nice neighborhoods where the flips do well, show those flips and get them out to your database and ask them, in fact, in the let me just show you here instead of telling you about it. Let me go back to the team website. Hang on one second. Um, oh, sorry, it's down here in this one. So if you go into the booklet checklist, okay, and you scroll down, it's literally gives you step-by-step instructions, things you can insert into your booklet, like free books, for example, on flipping. But here's what you say. Let's say how many people here are relatively new? Just in the last year, got in the business in the last year, and you feel like you're starting to figure things out, but you're not where you want to be. So just a show of hands, or if you want to type in the chat box, I'm pretty new, okay, and you're looking for some kind of advantage. So what you can do is, if you're pretty new in your sphere, you might not have ever notified your sphere that you're now a real estate advisor, a real estate consultant. Uh, I always advise people to call yourself advisor or consultant. You're not only allowed to do that, it's actually in the code of ethics. That's what we do. We advise people, we consult people. Don't just call yourself a real estate agent, because you're worthy, you're special, and you deserve to think of yourself as a consultant, because that's what you are, particularly when you do the kind of work that we do. But in any case, we call this the shake of the tree method. So you create a booklet. If you want to find out who in your database would be interested in remodeling a home for themselves or for a flip investment, put this in there. Say hi, and remember, KV Core is going to fill in the name for you. You just put in the first name in brackets, and it'll fill in the name for you. I'm trained to be a certified investor agent. Or you could say, I've had my license for a year now, all right, and I've created a draft of a booklet for others. You could say, folks just like you don't even have to say investor if you don't want to. And I thought of you. Have you ever considered remodeling a home or flipping a property? I'm ad-libbing here. I'm just putting in the words you need for people who aren't flippers. They just want to remodel their own home. Then you do what's called permission-based marketing. Would you please provide your opinion? I value your opinion. Please provide your feedback. I value your opinion. Okay. Um, so in any case, what you're doing is you're asking a question to them that not everyone, but a larger percentage of them would likely get back to you if you put that in there. Would you please give me your feedback? I value your opinion. Okay. And let them talk. But what did we just accomplish when we sent them an email with this verbiage in there and a link to the beautiful booklet you just created? And we asked them, have you ever considered remodeling your home or flipping a home? By the way, would you please provide your feedback on this? I value your opinion, because you're telling them you're getting started, you're starting a new adventure here. And the people that know you, love you, and trust you are going to want to help you. So when we do that, we actually establish contact with them. We created what's called engagement. Okay. Now it's up to you to keep the conversation going. And you can go to the team GIA resources tab on the website and grab all the scripts you want. So let me just show you that real quick. Sorry, I'm not used to this screen here. How do I go back to, is it here? Bingo, here it is. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And GIA resources. Here's that nasty little bugger message again. Sorry, GIA resources. Go into scripts. Okay. Oh, there we go. And everything you can want in the way of scripts is going to be in here. There's different, 2 dozen different categories. And each category has, well, hopefully, I'm not sure if it's loading or not. I'm not used to using Microsoft Edge. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Look, buyer scripts, circle prospecting scripts. Circle prospecting is what we went over last week. Cold calling for investors, commission handlers, door knocking scripts, expires, FISBOs, listing scripts. There you go. Objection handling, open house scripts, power closes, pricing scripts. That's a big one now. Referrals, sphere of influence scripts. This is the people that already know you, like you, and trust you, right? Shaking the tree method, talking points and scripts for agent attraction, tie downs and trial closes. This is really important, guys. If you understand tie downs and trial closes, you're going to have a lot more success. I can't emphasize. In fact, we should have a class just on that. I'm going to write that down. Hang on 1 second. Trying to remember what day. All right. So on October 15th, we're going to do tie downs and trial closes. Okay. Tie downs. So Charlie, if you're on still, you were asking about role playing today, Charlie. We're going to do some of that on Monday, October 15th. Sorry, that's the wrong date here. Monday's not the 15th. I got to pick a new date. We got a teacher there, Hannah. It's the 28th. Sorry, the 28th of October.
Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome, Charlie. Tie downs and trial closes. Okay. We have some guest teachers coming up. That's why we got to wait so long. But it's all in here. Working with flippers. There's scripting right there, right? Working with flippers. How about work with me script? So guys, I would download these. I would practice them, and I think we should. I think we should do this on a regular basis. We do that probably once a quarter. But I think tie downs and trial closes, we should put some more emphasis on that. So,
Gary, if I could interrupt
yes.
you, Jackie had asked in the chat what that was, if you could explain that briefly.
Tie downs and trial closes.
I believe so. I don't know, but
Yep.
yeah.
Let's open her up. A trial close is generally you're testing the water. In other words, you want
Yes.
your prospects to be in a yes frame of mind. Okay. So when you're going over a presentation with people, guys, from time to time, it's always a good idea to check their comprehension. To ask them questions like, is this making sense? Are you getting this? Okay. Those are trial closes, and they do have a subconscious impact or a psychological impact on the subconscious mind. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Okay. Can you see yourself doing this? Would this help you in your business? Those are examples of trial closes. Now, the tie downs are like this, aren't they? Aren't we? Can't it? You know, um, can't this process make your job easier? Can't these trial closes make your job easier? Right. So you're trying to basically tie them down. In any case, these are ones you definitely want to practice. So these are some of the key phrases. And then down here, there's actual examples, right? In full sentences. Oh my gosh, everyone seems to like this house, don't they? Right? So if you're in an open house and you got a good crowd, make sure you take advantage when everybody's in the kitchen and you're talking to one person, and you're pretending you're not aware of all the other people. Just say, sure does seem like everybody likes this house, don't they? Right? Because what does that do to their subconscious? Creates a sense of urgency and scarcity. There's only one house and there's 5 other couples in here. we better make our move fast. We've already seen 20 houses. We've been beat out 10 times. We need to get this house. So in any case, so that's an example of a tie down. Where a trial closes, you're usually checking for comprehension, but you're using the phrases that are synonymous with them actually buying what you have to sell. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? Can you see yourself doing this? Can you see yourself using this? In any case,
And Gary, when
yes,
you're saying like the couldn't it, wouldn't it, shouldn't it, a lot of times too, you're shaking your head right along with it. Like this, wouldn't
yeah,
this, wouldn't this be great if you could do this, or couldn't you see yourself, in this house, or, whatever you're doing, you're usually shaking your head right
yep,
along, right?
yep. Some of my favorite ones, if I have a house that had a really great deck with a great backyard, and people are coming out, and it's usually an attention grabber. People love good views. But I would be out there next day, man, well, this sure would be a great place to throw a party, wouldn't it? Can you imagine having the annual picnic here for your family in this backyard? Things like that.
Yeah.
Um, that those are the things I would use, and it's all natural. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. It's true, you know. So in any case, we could go on and on with role playing with that kind of stuff, but so I'll use a trial close, even though there's nothing here we're selling tonight. Type in the chat box if you're getting this, if this is making sense, and I really mean the booklet and how you use the booklet, how you get it into your CRM, how you can send it out and schedule it so it goes out automatically. You can use the flipping campaign that's already automated for you, or you can create your own scheduled email that goes out. But if it's making sense to you guys, please let me know. And just as importantly, if you do have questions, please don't be shy. If you're new to the group, everybody here, most of them been around quite a while, and we're already used to each other. You can't. There's nothing you can do to embarrass yourself. We've already embarrassed ourselves enough for everyone. So, so let me check the chat box here and see if we have any questions. Not totally. So, Hannah from beautiful Vermont. So, Hannah, if you want to unmute yourself, let me stop the share. Um, would you like to walk through a scenario, Hannah? Or maybe you have like a client right now you're working with. Um, so we could do like a process, lay a process out for you.
I guess my biggest question is like for the booklet, do we just replace with our information?
Yes. So what you would do, you would take the template and download the 4 examples. So you have multiple examples of what booklets look like. And 2 of those are Word documents, 2 are PDFs, and the template is definitely a Word document. So the first thing I always have my students do is go in and strip out all of my information and insert your information. Okay. Um, and then, excuse me, and then the cover photo should be a picture of where you are. Okay. So now the only exception there is if you're doing a booklet to canvas a neighborhood to do what we call a walkabout or circle prospecting in a certain neighborhood, you want a picture of that neighborhood on that booklet. Okay. But in most cases, um, like where you are you're north of Burlington, Vermont, if you could find a good aerial view, Hannah, of Burlington, like in the fall, that would be an awesome cover photo. In fact, if you go to your county's website, chances are they have a photo there you can grab, and it's public and it's free. Okay, you can use it's a public domain picture. Most counties are not going to send you a nasty email saying, "Hey, you can't use our picture." I've never heard of that happening because we own we the citizens own the website. We're the taxpayers, so we technically own the photo. So, but if you grab a photo off the internet blindly, please be careful because there are companies that actually own those photos, right? And they've watermarked them and they've embedded code in there. And if you use them, now granted, you're sending your booklet in a closed environment. You're not putting it out there on the website. You're not putting it out to Facebook. You're sending it to people in an email. So chances are you'll be okay. But just be aware, Getty Images, if you use one of their pictures and you don't get their permission or pay their $10 fee up front, you'll get a nasty gram. Um, from them. So, and Janai's just saying here, Canva has library with just about every location. So again, if you use Canva, you're probably in pretty good shape, you know. But you can't go wrong with using a picture from your county website. So in any case, back to the booklet. Make the cover of the booklet reflect you and or your area, okay, and the purpose of the booklet, and then put your contact information everywhere in the booklet. And if you use testimonials, like I've made a habit of starting to collect testimonials going back, I don't know how many years ago, 15 years ago, and I've got hundreds of them now, and it's awesome because whenever you feel bad, pull up all your testimonials. It'll make you feel good again. But more importantly, my template that I give you has testimonials in there. You definitely want to take those out because somebody calls you on it and they're not yours. That can be awfully embarrassing. Um, so you want to customize it to reflect you, right? And then the sample properties should definitely be properties from your area. Okay. So you don't want to just use like Shannon's booklet, carte blanche, because that's from um, the Los Angeles area, specifically Calabasas and Woodland Hills. So
I
how many
put in
here
an
people are thinking,
article. I put in an
what's that?
article in the at 647 that has the
Mhm.
top renovations that increase home value for 2024. So if you're doing a booklet for a seller, that might be one to
Nice.
put in and take out the other one that's for a flipper.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And Janai, I'm glad you brought it up because you can use the booklet to get sellers just as much as you can use it to get buyers. It was designed originally for buyers, but you can show people, hey, here's what you can do. And matter of fact, you know what else I would put in a booklet if you're looking to attract sellers? Tell them that they have the ability now to remodel their property and they don't have to pay for it until it sells. That is a huge game changer for people. You know, and Curbio is the most obvious provider that does that, but you can find local contractors that will do that. In fact, that whole concept was developed in Santa Barbara, California. Okay, one of the agents, it wasn't my idea, it was hers. She came up with it on her own, and we called it the owner flip because there were so many elderly people there selling their houses for 600,000, only to watch it get sold again for $1 million 6 months later. You know, so we were like, hey, let's just tell them we can get a contractor involved who's willing to put up the money for the material and labor. In exchange, you split the additional increased profit with the contractor. And then you, the agent, get a much higher sale price, right? Um, and the risk is mitigated because the contractor will have a lien written up. You can just do a regular property lien, but you can also do a mechanics lien. Mechanic liens take precedence over mortgages going back about 10 years.
Mhm.
So he's the contractor, he or she's protected. The owner's protected. Everybody's protected. You use E&O insurance. You do it through the MLS, and everybody makes more money. And that whole thing came about. That's from that example. That whole sector of our business example, or excuse me, sector, the flipping sector. Excuse me. Um, so okay. Any other questions? Comments? You're gonna let me do all the talking tonight? I
What's
shouldn't
for
say
ice
that.
cream?
Oh man, I'm not sure. I think we have peach cobbler out there, but I've had so many peaches in the last 2 months. I can't. I'm done for the year. You know, I'm ready for pumpkin and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have some dessert here in a little bit. Actually, I have some raspberry muffins that were homemade, not by me, but someone else. So I'm gonna have some of that. But guys, I tell you what, if you could do this one thing for me, we're gonna meet again next Monday. We do have a guest teacher next Monday, and hang on, I'll tell you. Her name is Shauna, and she is a tax advisor. And she's unlike other tax advisors that I've met. I've interviewed her on the podcast. I told her who you guys are, and she works with a lot of realtors and investors. So she's going to give us a lot of golden nuggets next week. So be ready for that. But if you could do me a favor and do yourself a favor, go ahead. For those of you who have access to the team platform, um, go in there to the members area, go to the marketing campaigns, and download the booklets, the examples, and the template and the checklist. and go ahead and create your first booklet. You don't have to publish it if you don't want to. Just create it, put your information in there instead of mine, and get it ready for review. And we can go over those on one of the classes, right? And I'll help you perfect them. So, and if you're on the team, of course, you get, the one-on-one coaching, so we can do that one-on-one. And I'll help you perfect it that way. But the fall is an excellent time to be doing these types of campaigns. You got the leaves changing colors, unless you're in Florida or Arizona, then you're not going to see the leaf changing colors, but you get the point. Great time of year to be doing this. It's an excellent campaign, spring and fall. You can do whatever you want, but those 2 seasons, you'll find this campaign works very well. Please repeat that order, Gary. So Valerie, you mean the order of the like the steps involved? Okay. Yeah, so go into the team's website, click on members area so you can log in. Okay. And on your dashboard, you'll see the marketing tab. Click on the marketing tab. And the booklet is actually the first marketing campaign that's in there. I think it's the first one. Yeah, it is the first one. Yep. So open that up. You don't have to watch the video. You can if you want to. But the main thing is to download the checklist, download the template, and download the 4 examples. So you have the 4 examples. Okay. And then go in, and the first thing, the easy thing I would do, guys, is strip out all my information and put your information in. That'll give you a little win to get started. It'll get you in the habit of, getting the booklet done. You'll get the major stuff done. And then if you really want to impress the teacher, go into Really Flow, use the flipped criteria, right? In your area, typically county or zip code, look for some flipped properties. Look for one you really like. In fact, look for 3 of them. Then go get the listings from the MLS, assuming they are on the MLS. Grab the pictures, grab the descriptions, and build that part of your booklet too. Now, I always get questions on this, so I'm going to go ahead and address it. You're allowed to use that information for educational and informational purposes. In other words, you can use listing information on properties that have already closed. That information is, number one, part of now the public domain. Anybody can go into the county records, go on the MLS, and see what that property sold for, all the pictures and all that. You're not trying to advertise the property for sale. That's not your intent here. If you were doing that, yeah, we'd have a different discussion. All you're doing is using it for informational and educational purposes. So does that make sense? Okay, perfect. Yep. So you're not, and you have a closed audience. You're not blasting it out to the world. You have a closed audience. It's generally an email campaign. You can put it in a text. And I do recommend you do put it on Facebook from time to time, even though that's a mass marketing, but you can select who you send it to on Facebook, you know. So let's see, this is Rose. Hey Rose, how long are the campaigns on KB Core for the booklets? What I would do, so there's 2 options here, Rose. There already is a flipping campaign out there that's 17 contacts. So you could just utilize that, and every 4th contact, every 4th email that is, put in the link for your latest booklet there. But what I would prefer you do, guys, actually, is leave that campaign alone, because it's designed for people who aren't ready today. They want to flip, but they're just not ready today. Let that campaign be for that. What I suggest is just create a new email, okay? And in that new email, use the verbiage from the checklist that we just went over. It's in red ink in the checklist for the booklet. And then put your link in there for your saved booklet, whether it's iCloud or Google Drive, okay? And then send it to your people. In fact, I would send it to the whole database. If it's for more than 250 people, if your database is greater than 250, you do have to schedule the email, and the instructions are right in there. When you go to create an email, you can there's options for you can select schedule it. You can schedule it for the next day or next week, and if you want to do that, and then it'll go out to all your contacts. Otherwise, you have to send it 250 at a time repeatedly. So it's better to schedule the email so you bypass the 250 email limit, and it'll send it to everybody for you. You have to schedule the email to do that for greater than 250. That's what I would recommend as your teacher, is to use the booklet by creating your own email. If you want to create a recurring, like a campaign, then you want to set up the email to go out like every month, for example, at least every quarter. Just call it the booklet campaign. And then remember, you've got to remember every time before the booklet goes out, you've got to remember to update the booklet with new pictures, new flips. Because if you don't, people are going to say, "Hey, you just sent that to me 3 months ago." That's the only thing you got to remember with a scheduled campaign. You have to remember that you got to update your booklet. But to me, it makes it so much easier because you're already going to create the booklet anyways. All the marketing is all automated for you now. You just plug in a fresh booklet every time. And maybe change the wording a little bit in the body of the email. But I love that campaign. You know, it's one of the highest producing campaigns that I've seen. When I first created it all those years ago, I created one just on multifamilies, and it was just for dentists. That's why Shannon did the booklet for dentists, by the way. He just said, "Well, if Gary did well with dentists, I'm going to do work with dentists too." And sure enough, first batch of booklets, she got herself a dentist. And dentists are good to work with. Oh my gosh, they are definitely well trained. They're business people. They understand money. They understand. They like the idea of investing in real estate. I probably had more success with that group and the engineers. Well, even first responders, firemen, policemen. Those were great groups to work with. Military was always awesome. Pilots, airline pilots, boy, they're fun. They're fun to work with too. If you ever want to have a lot of fun, go hang out with some airline pilots. You'll have, you might have to get a taxi home, but you'll have fun. Um, but those are some of the top groups to work with. But dentists, I got to tell you guys, for me, dentists and engineers were the top two groups for me. You know, so okay, great questions. Any other questions? You guys are okay? Hey, if you could, if if you haven't had a call for a while, please set one up with me. Um, there should be time slots the remainder of this week and into next week. Remember, you have to schedule minimum 2 days in advance. So like now it's, whatever it is, 8 o'clock Monday Eastern Standard Time. So if you go in there now, the scheduling link, you won't see anything available until Thursday because you have to be 48 hours in advance. And then on the back end, you can't schedule beyond 2 weeks out. So you can't schedule more than 2 weeks out. The reason we did that is years ago when we first started, we had people scheduling 10, 15 calls at the same time, just globbing up the space for the next month. And I told him, I said, really, if you think about coaching calls, you have to do it sequentially. You don't set up the next coaching call till you've done what you've gotten from the first coaching call, and then that's sort of resonated with people. So in any case, that's really all I had for tonight, guys. Did you like this class? Was this a good one for you?
Woohoo!
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yes.
always good,
All right,
Dick,
good.
Gary.
Thank you. And in July, we're meeting tomorrow, I think. Is that right? Yes, we are. 10 o'clock Central. And Eric, we're meeting tomorrow too. Andre and I are meeting tomorrow. Let's see. Yep. Okay, guys. So if you have no more questions, comments, suggestions, and by the way, I do encourage you to speak up if you have an idea or suggestion, just like Karen and Janai did. Please be willing to share. That's part of what makes everything go around is the fact that people are willing to share. Remember, you're in all over the country. There's no two of you in the same neighborhood. I can promise you that. And very rarely do we have two people in the same town. So, yep. So all these records are yours. Everything you get from the lead source system, ReallyFlow, remember they go into your database. Those are your contacts. So, okay. Well, I hope you have an awesome rest of the night, guys. A good week. I look forward to seeing you on the one-on-ones. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Next Monday will be a great class to bring guests to, whether they're investors or clients, because we're going to have a tax professional on, and she's very highly regarded. And you'll know when you see her, when you talk to her, her credentials are some of the best I've ever seen. In fact, there's a rating she has, and it's like fewer than 1,800 tax accountants in the world have this rating. So she's really good, you know. Okay, if you let me, I'll keep talking. So I'm going to stop and go get some dessert and spend time with my mom.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.